Yeah, it's I feel like I mean, this is being like extremely relaxed or something like that, or like being in a deep sleep, but somebody's probably not going to get back to you. Like I said, check this evening to see if something has been taken care of. If not, give something 4 days. Right. If it's not taken care of in the next 4 days, then I feel like maybe you should call them back, check back in. But something I feel like something's gonna take like 4 days or whatever. Seven of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. Okay. What is the Four of Swords? King of Cups. Okay, it's a water sign, probably a Cancer or Pisces. They're calling about work. So this could be about a job that you're waiting for them to call you back for like an interview or whatever. You're waiting for a start date, or maybe you called your job. I don't know. Or this could be like this could be a work order. Maybe you put in a work order, maintenance order at your apartment building or whatever, and they're not going to get back to you for like 3 days. So something could be broken in your home, something breaks, and you have to put a work order in. Um, they probably won't get back to you for like 4 days or something like that. I just kind of feel like a situation is going to take like 4 days. Yeah. All right. Yeah, something has changed. This could be like a recalibration, reconstituting something. Something has changed about your job, or something's going to change about your work, the way you do your work, the way you do your job, the protocol, the rules, it could just like it could be like a change in your work environment. The Page of Swords. Yeah, I mean, like I said, check back in 4 days. If it's not fixed, then check back. Yeah, I got check tonight. If it's not fixed, check tomorrow morning. Jason, I'm going to read you your rights real quick, okay? Can we not do this right here? Yesterday, because we He did that yesterday? Yeah, we were fighting here, and this is from 2 days ago. We were fighting in the middle of the street. This is when cops face horrible fathers. On July 6th, 2023, a woman arrived at the police station with disturbing evidence she found on her little sister's iPad. The material involved an adult male and a young girl, and the responsible party was someone who should have protected her most, their own father.
If she wears the Delta symbol, then her first love is DST. And they make you sing that song.
First love?
Her first love is DST.
Uh-uh.
Police say Lonnie Franklin is the notorious Grim Sleeper serial killer who terrorized South Los Angeles for nearly 2 decades.
Franklin was one of the most evil serial killers ever.
He enjoyed inflicting pain on people and seeing them suffer.
I get in the car. All of a sudden, he shot me point blank in my chest.
He is doing this to satisfy his sick desires.
Started fighting to get up, and he was pushing me down, and I just slumped against the seat. Oh, he's trying to kill me. I am Anitria Marquette, and I survived a serial killer. In 1988, I was 27 years old, living in South LA. And I was doing home health care at the time. Margaret, he had saw me looking at his car, and he hollered something. I kept walking, and he hollered again, and then I turned around and said, "I know you're not hollering at me, because if you want to talk to me, you have to come to where I am." He got into his car and pulled up to where I was. He said, "So, you like my car?" He was dark skinned, in his mid-30s. He had on khakis and a polo. He didn't seem threatening. Then he started asking me where I was going. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to my friend's house." He says, "Oh, I'll take you." I said, "Oh, no, 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 no. I can walk." And he would see, "That's what's wrong with you black women. You can't do nothing nice for y'all." And I said, "Oh, where'd that come from?" I was like, "Since it'll make you feel better, I'll let you take it." I get in the car. I said,
She was
"Here,
like, "Oh, where did
take
that come from? That shit funny."
the radio was on. His demeanor, it was non-threatening. We were having a nice conversation, and I started to relax. I was just looking out the window at the scenery. And he turned off a main thoroughfare. A little warning went off. Uh-oh. I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not the street." His demeanor changed. He was angry. He said I was dogging him out. All of a sudden, the music just stopped. He shot me point blank in my chest. I realized I had been shot. I had no gun, and I didn't see blood, but I knew something was really wrong. I was like, "We're not going to panic. We're just going to figure out a way to get out of this car." I reached for the door handle, and he said, "Bish, I'll shoot you again."
Before Nitra was attacked in 1985, Deborah Jackson was one of the first ones found in South Los Angeles. Deborah was shot 3 times in the chest with a 25 caliber bullet. She had been there already a few days, so her body was in such a state that they couldn't really collect any sexual assault evidence. We had no witnesses. We have the bullets that the coroners recovered from the body, but no cartridge casings at the scene.
I sit in common. I don't even.
Follow up on her case went cold.
He was driving. And then I was thinking, you might shoot me in the back of the head. I was like, please, just let me out your car. I said, because if I do die, I'm going to ask the Lord, let me haunt you the rest of your life so that you will know you couldn't get away with this. And he didn't say nothing. He just kept driving. I started feeling woozy. I was getting weak. I kept fading in and out. And then all of a sudden, I passed out. When I came to, everything was dark. I remember pressure being on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. I was trying to push wherever it was off, but I couldn't move. And then I heard this laugh. He was on top of me doing something. I started fighting, but it was just like I was paralyzed. Then I let out this long scream. I knew I was gonna die. I was far, and he shot me. I passed out. I woke up to flashing lights. They clicked off and on. He was taking pictures. I was like, what? This dude is sick. I got to get up out of here.
Anitria knew she was in trouble, but what she didn't know was that there was a string of other victims in South Los Angeles.
Henrietta Wright, she's found under a mattress in an alley, shot to death.
In January 1987, another victim, Barbara Ware, who was only 23 years old, was found in an alleyway, shot in the chest.
About 4 months later, Bernita Sparks was found in a dumpster.
Unfortunately, this was just the beginning. Over the next couple of years, 3 more bodies were found in South Los Angeles.
The victims were sexually assaulted. All of them had been shot in the chest anywhere from 1 to 3 times, the same firearm, 25 caliber handgun, and then apparently pushed out of a vehicle or dumped in an alleyway. We knew we had a serial murderer.
Leave me the hell alone.
Identify somebody very soon. This could go on forever.
This guy is taking pictures of me. I was like, oh no. I started fighting to get up, and he was pushing me down. I was weak. I just slumped against the seat. And then he started driving. I was feeling on the door. Wasn't even sure if it was, and I was hoping it was. I got to get out. That's all I know. I'm trying to figure it out. When I opened the door, he pushed me at the same time. Next thing I knew, I was just lying there in the middle of the street. I was afraid he might drive back. I rolled to the curb. Got up and I saw all the blood. I got to find help. I started walking. I remember the street being so dark. Porch lights were on. I didn't see nobody. I just walked until I saw a sign and I realized how close to my grandmother's house. I was holding on to cars, trying to steady myself. I was smearing the blood on cars as I go by. When I got to Linda's house, I started banging on the door. Oh, Linda, open up, open up. I realized nobody's there because they done went to the party. I lost them. I don't know how long I laid there. She finally pulled up, and I was like, call 911, call 911. After a few minutes, the ambulance put up, and I don't remember nothing else after that. I woke up, the doctor said they had pulled the bullet out. I didn't have a lot of, but I didn't remember anything. But it was, now I'm really worried because I didn't know where he was or who he was. How do I know he's not going to come after me? I was in the hospital. I had been shot and raped and left for dead. A couple of days later, the police asked me a lot of questions. I told them what happened.
The bullet from her chest was compared to bullets from the other cases, and they match. They were all fired from the same firearm. So we know in nature it was one of his victims. Finally, we could get more information. She was the only one that could give us a description of what the guy looked like and a description of the card.
You would think that this orange Pinto would give the police a huge lead, and they looked everywhere. But they couldn't find the car.
We ran out of leads. The cases went cold and went into storage.
Even at this point, the police have not informed anyone that there might be a serial killer out there. They didn't want the killer to go underground.
In November of 2001, because DNA was now the best way to catch a body and identify them, LAPD put together a cold case unit.
The police actually went back to the sexual assault kits to gather DNA from the serial killer.
The DNA is run through the database, but we're not getting any matches. So we don't have a name to that suspect.
Then in 2004,
You
the investigation
shit.
took a crazy turn.
They
Two more
called in
cases popped
2000. You getting away with that shit.
Valerie Corby. They were not shot by that 25 caliber handgun. Instead, they were both strangled. But both still matched the DNA profile from the killings back in the 1980s.
This guy, he didn't stop. He's still out there. How many other murders did he commit
Sleepy, bro.
that we don't know about?
Supposed to be going to Waffle House.
The media picked up on the fact
I just
that
want a
there was a
waffle.
serial killer.
I just want a waffle, some sausage, and some eggs with cheese. Yeah, that's all I want.
And because of the long break that he took, they dubbed him the Grim Sleeper.
At least 10 murders are attributed to the Grim Sleeper.
They don't even know who the guy was. That brought a lot of anxiety and panic attacks.
The police have a DNA profile of the killer, but they don't have his exact identity because the name is not in the database. So they turn to this new technology where they're able to take the DNA and match it to DNA from a family member.
It will give us a family name, and then we have to do our work and narrow it down from there. There was a match to a young man who had been convicted of a firearms violation. We know he's not our murderer, but they found out other people that could be related, and they gave us 3 names, and they gave us addresses. Well, guess what? One of those addresses right there at 81st Street in Western, and the person who lived at that address was named Lonnie Franklin.
Lonnie Franklin was a mechanic and used to work for the City of Los Angeles Sanitation Department. Franklin lived in the areas where they found the bodies.
We have to do a verification process and obtain a DNA sample. So we had every surveillance team in our police department following him to obtain anything he may discard that would have DNA on it. Lonnie and a group of people go to a pizza parlor in Orange County. The guy watching him contacts the manager and asks him if he can dress up as an employee and collect the food and utensils from that table. Manager says, sure, go ahead. When everybody's done, the detective moves in as an employee, starts collecting food and everything. It's delivered to our laboratory. About 2 days later, finally, we get an answer. It's a match. We have our murderer. This is him.
This morning at about 9:20, a suspect that has been known to many as the Grim Sleeper.
We were at his house conducting a search. We found the murder weapon. And we found around 180 photographs. Women of all ages, from teens to senior citizens, in various stages of dress or undress.
Of all these pictures they find, one is particularly disturbing.
Detectives came and said, we just need you to look at some pictures. I looked at it and thought, oh my God.
Tonight, 57-year-old Lonnie Franklin is under arrest, suspected of being a notorious serial killer dubbed the Grim Sleeper.
Detectives said they caught him and they found the photo for me. I looked at it and thought, oh my God, I was dead. That's what it looked like. I was slumped against the seat and you could see the blood coming out of my shirt. Polaroids of the other women were heartbreaking.
These trophies were these women he had murdered. I mean, there's no names on them. We don't know. Ultimately, we released the photographs to the news media.
These photos go back 20 and 30 years. We need the help.
We did have some people come forward, identify themselves, saying, that's me. I did allow him to take photographs of me. But a lot of the women weren't identified. We had others where we don't know to this day who they are, if they're alive or dead. Because Lonnie worked for the Department of Sanitation, we do believe some of them most likely ended up in a dump somewhere. He claims he never murdered anyone.
The police suspect that there are many more victims, but ultimately, they only have enough DNA and ballistics evidence to charge with the 10 murders and the 1 attempted murder.
During the trial, Nitra was able to testify against him.
At first, I was very apprehensive. But then I saw him and I went, oh, that's him. That was the man who shot me. I just felt angry. I thought I forgave, but I was wrong. Lord forgive me, but I was wrong.
In May of 2016, Lonnie Franklin is convicted of 10 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder.
We, the jury, fixed the penalty for defendant Lonnie David Franklin Jr. as death by execution.
We can rest a little bit easier. We're able to put him away. Let's get to see the light of day no more.
In 2020, Lonnie Franklin actually cheated the executioner and died in his cell. There was no evidence of trauma.
Lonnie was one of the longest going serial murderers that we had in Los Angeles. Without today's technology, we may never have caught him.
I feel blessed. I finally settled down and was able to do things and live a life. I really don't consider myself a survivor because a survivor just survives and that's a day to day. I am going further. I'm a conqueror.
It's time to spring forward. Redefine your season with up to 80% off all your beauty essentials.
Police arrested 20-year-old Khalil Wheeler Weaver last night at his house in Orange. It involved murders that had been executed in sort of a cold, calculating way. Find the body, and the remains could not be identified. We believed he strangled her and then set the building on fire to cover his tracks. 3 women murdered, a 4th woman attacked and nearly killed. That's when the serial killer alarms start going off, and we didn't know if more people would die.
He took off his mask and he said, "You don't remember me?" He had handcuffed my hands behind my back. Then he was right behind me going upstairs to the room. I knew he was a monster, and I knew I was really in trouble. My name is Tiffany Taylor, and I survived a serial killer. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. I was about 34 in 2016. At that time, I was homeless. Mom had ovarian cancer, and she beat it, thank God, but we lost everything. So we were staying at different hotels. November 15th, I was staying at a motel in Elizabeth, New Jersey with my friend. It was his birthday. And the plan was just chill, watch some movies. But I had got a call from my best friend at the time. She was telling me her friend needed a ride to Pennsylvania. He was supposed to give me about $100. I was always thinking about the next day, how I'm gonna pay for the. I definitely jumped on the offer. She gave me his number, and we started texting back and
Why are
forth.
you in contact with him?
He kind of just popped up at the room.
That's
Yeah,
fine. It's a million questions, don't it?
pulls over, but it didn't look too suspect because that's like the style for guys in the wintertime. We got into the car and I started to drive off. He then asked me, "Can I pull over?" Because he had to use the bathroom. So I pull over down the side block, not far from the hotel.
What do you want me to say? You see, I'm watching TV. What is it? Y'all just want attention. I'm convinced. I just said it's fine. Like, you keep asking me questions. I'm watching TV. Why are you having what?
basically the last thing I remember. I'm thinking he might have hit me because I had pain in the back of my head, and I don't know. But I know I went out and I woke up to him raping me and choking me out.
Being able to change people's lives is really the best part of the job. We change their ability to chew and eat the things that they love, and we really just change their self-esteem and their overall outlook on life. I've seen patients who come in and they're kind of down on life. A lot of them are staying away from friends and family because of the shame of their teeth. And after they undergo this procedure, they come back and it's like they're a different person. They're just so excited and happy with their new life.
He was whispering in my ear, like, I wish we was in a room, I would have demolished you. I think he got off of seeing fear. I went out of consciousness at least 3 times. He was a monster.
I forget what that is. What is that place called?